Hi, Amazon sellers. This is Leah McHugh. I'm here with Chris McCabe, and today we are talking about review manipulation, something that we're still seeing a lot of despite the review-mageddon last year.
Right. After the massacre of suspensions in 2017, somehow we're still seeing people practice tactics that aren't really going to get you anywhere except suspended, I guess. So.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the top 5 ways that we are currently seeing people getting suspended for this, because it changes over time as Amazon tightens up their policies. People find more and more loopholes.
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of gone underground. Doesn't mean Amazon's not poking around in the groups. I think that's one misconception sellers have. Once they're off site, that Amazon can't see it, doesn't care, doesn't pay attention. I'm not saying every PRA, product review abuse investigator, is necessarily spending their life on Facebook looking at who's private messaging who. Obviously, they can't see certain things, but they're on it and they're paying attention to it. And the article I've written recently covers ways in which competitors are reporting each other to Amazon to help Amazon find you.
Well, so let's go through them one by one, because we do have the top 5 ways that we're seeing it right now. So what's one of the top ways?
Well, I mean, and there's a hierarchy to these, but a lot of people are still asking friends and family, colleagues, whoever, coworkers to leave reviews for them. I'm surprised people are still doing that because obviously Amazon has some tools to track down related buyer accounts. Maybe it's unintentional. Maybe it's not done in bad faith sometimes. It doesn't matter to them. If they think you're negatively impacting the product review process and hurting its integrity, you shouldn't be asking friends, family.
Sure. And I mean, not even your own business. Do you want to be responsible for your mom's buyer account getting shut down? Probably not.
Right. That's a good point. They've started.
I don't think they'd be very happy with you.
No. Your whole family might get their account shut down.
Yeah. How will we buy Christmas presents?
Well, they've started closing buyer accounts, right? That was a story a few weeks ago in the press. They started closing accounts associated with too many returns, right? Returns and refunds abuse.
Sure.
So this would be considered another form of abuse. Obviously, PRA, the team is called Product Reviews Abuse, so this is an abuse investigations team. And yes, buyer accounts and seller accounts can be closed, of course.
Okay, so number 1, don't ask your friends and family to leave reviews for your products. What's the next thing that we're seeing people getting suspended for?
Right. So what I was saying a moment ago, people who are looking at trying to use PayPal to reimburse people for orders, either through their own website, maybe you found a third-party service provider who's doing black hat services to get you buyer accounts that will not show up in the tools as connected to you, but reimbursing those people, either the service provider or those buyers, for leaving a 5-star review. Of course, this is kind of old news now. Amazon's aware this goes on. You could be leaving a paper trail. You could have a competitor buy from you, right? A competitor could be compiling a list of all the buyer accounts that you purchased from somebody that you've hired or you think that you've hired. It could be your competitor that you're hiring.
Well, and it's crazy to me how not careful people are with this, because we have our own Facebook group or for Amazon sellers, and I delete posts all the time from people asking people to buy their product, leave a review, and get a PayPal refund. Yeah. Like, our group is probably the worst group to be putting that in.
Yeah, I know. I mean, people are sloppy about it, and I mean, it's good that they're sloppy and they get caught.
Yeah.
But at least from Amazon's perspective, they want you to be sloppy. It makes their life easier, but they don't even need you to be sloppy. And I know there's a lot of brazenness in the behavior because everyone just assumes Amazon doesn't have time to run this down, and that's true. But they might not need the time if they're suspending a bunch of sellers for review manipulation, and then they say, oh, by the way, to get back on selling, you have to tell us all these services that you've used, where you found them, how the scheme worked with PayPal, and that's how they figured out a lot of this stuff to begin with. So you're not really fooling anybody by thinking you're like cloaking it in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 2 is don't provide incentives via PayPal to leave a review, especially not using things like Facebook, because there's nothing stopping one of your competitors doing that, and then they have all the proof they need to get you in trouble.
Right.
So number 3 thing that people shouldn't be doing is what?
The number 3 part of this is you're kind of trusting this third-party service provider that you're paying not to be cease and desisted by Amazon, receive some sort of correspondence from Amazon saying, hey, by the way, we're going to sue you unless you turn over lots of data, lots of information about who's used your services. So you don't want to put the fate and the life of your Amazon account in the hands of some third-party service black hat provider that you barely know, because Amazon has a history of suing these types of services, right?
Right. And everybody remembers Fiverr. Was that last year or the year before?
Right. So if it's up to like giving up your information, somebody that they don't even get a fee from, or making peace with Amazon, you're going to be the one they sacrifice, and they're going to make peace with Amazon. So understand that you're probably giving them some information about either your competitor, your storefront, what you're selling. They know enough about you to give Amazon information that makes it pretty easy to find you. So
Sure.
that's kind of the number 3 thing to remember.
Yep. So number 3, be careful which services you're using, particularly if it's around reviews and if they're offering incentives for those reviews.
Right.
What is number 4?
Number 4 is your messaging sequence, right? Lots of people use
Oh my God, yes.
providers. And for a while it worked to have 2 different messages because everyone figured out, right, you couldn't have one message that said, if you're unhappy, contact us, we'll fix it for you. If you're not unhappy and you love the product, leave a review, right? That was considered inducing behavior towards positive reviews.
Right.
Manipulation. Everyone figured that out. Now they split it into 2 different emails. So it's like one email says, are you unhappy? We'll help you. And then you wait a week or a few days and then you send the other one. You're not fooling anybody, right? And if you've got a competitor who's circling you, who's looking for an opportunity, you're still kind of handing them a method of reporting you to Amazon. Amazon will read a report saying that your messaging sequence is non-compliant because you're simply splitting something that was already known to be a rule breaker into 2 different messages. And I've seen a lot of people suspended for that.
And I think that's something that people get stuck on because it seems like you're just providing good customer service.
Right.
But ultimately, you are segmenting your customers into those who want to leave you a good review and those who need customer service. And that is still considered review manipulation.
Yeah.
So that's number 4. Be careful what you put in your email sequences. What is number 5?
Number 5 is, of course, offering discounts, giveaways, or promotions, even ad campaigns on your own site, and then somehow connecting those lower sale products to reviews that you might that a buyer might put on Amazon. So you might think that, well, this is happening on my own site. Amazon doesn't care if I offer discounts on my own site, promotions and so forth, but be careful of suggesting that anyone needs to go onto Amazon and leave a nice review anywhere in that sequence, even if you're emailing people on your own email list. If you're involving Amazon in some way, you could get caught, again, simply because a competitor buys from you, takes the email, copies and pastes it, and shows it to Amazon. So.
Well, and again, if you're doing it on your own website, just push them to leave a review on your own website.
On your own website. Yeah, everyone's tempted, I think, to just connect Amazon to it. By the way, we have a storefront, by the way. But, you know, if it's represented in a certain way and a policy investigator at Amazon looks at it and agrees with the person reporting you, it's convincing, they're likely to at least send you a warning. And some of those warnings will result in a suspension investigation. So
it seems like number 5 is actually a combination of both
everything.
3 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on that's baffling to me because there's been so many suspensions. Long story short, just be extremely careful how it appears what you're doing, how it would appear to Amazon, how it would appear to a competitor, because if it looks a certain way, Amazon usually assumes it is.
So just to go through them one more time. Number 1, don't ask your family and friends to leave reviews on your products. Number 2, don't offer people to refund people via PayPal if they leave you a nice review, especially through Facebook groups. Number 3, be careful which review services you're using. They may be black hat. They could get you in trouble. Your competitors could buy from you. Competitors could actually do this for any of them, but especially number 3. Number 4 is be careful what you're putting in your emails. Please don't try to segment your people into happy, leave a review, not happy, contact us.
Exactly.
And number 5 is be careful what incentives you are offering on or off Amazon. Make sure your wording is compliant if you're doing any of those things.
Yeah. Any questions, run it by us. We'll give you a quick and dirty assessment or opinion and give you some guidance. So feel free to contact us.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for watching. Bye,
Thanks. Bye.